And what's up? Today we're going to talk a little bit about something that I like to introduce into my diet. Of course, we're going to get in those 100 squats. That's fennel seeds. Fennel seeds, Fennel seed. I use fennel seed for the main purpose of helping to maintain and regulate my blood pressure, but it also has other benefits for the digestive system. I believe for women, for menstruation, and of course, just the aroma is a pleasant one for your breath. But I use fennel seeds and another seed, or it's actually not a seed, but another spice that I'll talk about, and I think I've talked about before. This is an easy way to start building a routine to have healthy habits in your lifestyle. I keep fennel seeds on me, and I got into the routine of having them in a bag or in a vehicle or at a location that I spend a lot of time. So if, for example, you go to work, you sit at a desk, you're a cubicle warrior, you're getting things done, smashing all your performance metrics, keep some fennel seed at your desk. Why? Because it's a healthy snack. Even though you don't need to eat a lot of them, I might pop in about 5 or so. They help keep your uh, saliva going, and it kind of is a mental component to it as well. So you don't, necessarily get dry mouth, or you don't need to be chewing gum or something that has sugars and things of that nature. And it's something that'll last a longer period of time, unlike, for example, let's say a sunflower seed or something like that. Sunflower seeds usually are chewed and consumed in very, very short order. So fennel seeds, you can just kind of let sit. I like to keep them, if I'm not chewing them, in between my lip and gum. And it really does make a difference, because when you eliminate the sugars and you eliminate the things that are maybe causing you to maintain higher blood pressure because you're eating chocolate and you're eating a candy bar that has excessive calories, and the difference that substituting things like that with fennel seed, maybe not all day, but if you eat, let's say you eat 10 mints over the course of a day, or 5 mints, replacing 2 of those 5 with fennel seed will definitely help with maintaining odor in your breath, if that's why you're eating the mints. If you're eating it for sugar, then of course you won't get as much sugar or any sugar with the fennel seeds, but you don't want to have too much sugar. I can't remember what the recommended daily dose of sugar is, but I'm sure I might surpass it regularly when I have things in close reach that are sweet in content. So get some fennel seeds. I'm not promoting a brand or anything. Maybe I'll get some of my own, but this is one step in building those healthy habits into your routine that can help you maintain a healthy heart and overall health in general. Okay. So in addition to that, you can jump on your phone and Google, the benefits of fennel seed. And I'll just read what Google is telling me at the moment. Fennel seeds are nutrient dense, fiber rich, and commonly used to improve digestion, reduce gas and bloating, and treat constipation. They contain anti-inflammatory compounds like anethol that provide antioxidant benefits, help freshen breath, and may assist in regulating blood pressure and managing menstrual pain. So look into getting some fennel seed. It may also help you stay away from prescription medications. I'm not suggesting that you should eliminate your prescription medication by far, but I am promoting the ability to move to a more natural state. And of course, you always want to check your ingredients. So if you're consuming a product and it has sodium or something that's not just what the actual product is, then you probably want to stay away from that. And it's not always easy to tell, but if it's promoted as organic and it has the stamps, it has all the USDA certifications, we have to kind of just go with that. Of course, most foods go through some type of industrial process, and you can't really control with 100% assurity what goes into it. But if there's a contamination in a spice or something like that, what's to say that there isn't contamination in a candy or something of that nature? So that's just a matter of purchasing products that we hope meet the requirement that the government sets forward. And um, in addition to that, if you keep them on hand, they're much easier to use. Buying them and leaving them in the spice cabinet is not what you want to do. And quite frankly, there's about 4 spices that I would recommend just kind of keeping around. Um, so cinnamon, turmeric, black pepper are others. If you just kind of have them around, they'll help you limit the amount of, let's say, for example, salt. Now, if you keep the salt around, then you need to make sure that you're going to have a higher quality salt that doesn't have a filler in it. So I think I've covered most of what I wanted to talk about. There is one other shout out. It's a shout out that I want to give this morning to a brother. He goes by Cold Cane on YouTube, Cold Cane, and his content is on point, man. It gives me something to aspire to. I'm assuming this man has had uh, a period of time in his life where he was focused on uh, calisthenic or gymnastic type workouts because his joints are in great condition. I mean, even with some of the training videos I've seen with strengthening your toes and things of that nature, it's ridiculous. Um, and he's doing, pull-ups with maybe like 145 pounds added weight. It's very much inspiring. So I just want to send a shout out to Cole Kane. Go over to his channel, check him out, and most of the content that I've seen is straight to the point. Um, you can see what he's doing. You can see the tools or the instruments that he's using, pull-up bar, etc., the weights. Everything is pretty clear and direct. So shout out to you, bro, and keep up all the great work. Now, if you've been here this far, I appreciate you joining. And I usually don't talk for this period of time, but today I just felt like these are some things that deserve some time. So I'm going to get into the 100 squats, and we're just going to do a little bit of a different um, approach today. I've already got my 1 mile walk in, and we're just going to start. I'm going to go at my own pace, so you can watch my pace. You do not have to move at my pace. If you want to move at my pace, great. If you want to exceed my pace, great. And if you know anybody who could benefit from these videos, please do send or share the live, share some of the other videos with them, and hopefully we'll get them on the bandwagon. And we're going to start in 2, 1. 1. Always starting slow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 20. 5, 8, 9, 30. 1, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 8, 9, 40. I think this is actually 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 sets of 10 for 110 squats. Excuse me if I messed up on the count. That's usually why I do that extra set. So I kept my phone in my hand because trying to be able to monitor and see if anybody joins in, if there's any comments. I don't recommend necessarily doing any exercise with your phone in your hand, but if you can do it, go for it. Do what works for you. So I'm going to stay on here for just a little while to see if anybody joins. And I'm also going to share the live. So if I get interrupted here, bear with me. All right. All right. Welcome to anybody who joins. Appreciate you for being here. If anybody else decides to join, we're going to continue with adding curls. We're just going to start with 10-pound curls. We're going to do some hammer curls. If you have water bottles at your desk, if you're at work, whatever the case may be, take some time, pick those water bottles up, whatever you might have that makes sense, and just pump your arms. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Try not to swing. And to combat the swinging, put one foot in front of the other. Doesn't matter if it's your dominant foot or not. And that'll help combat the swinging. 1, 2, 5, 8, 9, 20. Obviously, you have to keep that in mind to combat the swinging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Switching legs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the core tight. 7, 8, 9, 40. One more. 1, 4, 6, 8, 50. All right, let's go, bro. You're gonna do some shoulder shrugs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's either 30 or 40. Now I'm going to increase the weight significantly. I'm going to go up to 25 pounds. And we're going to do a set of 5. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to drop down to 15 pounds. Do a set of 7. 1, 2. Starting to feel the burn. Feeling it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've been spending a lot of time focusing on shoulders lately. You haven't seen me do too many pull-ups because I had a shoulder injury. And I'm doing everything that I can to heal naturally and make sure I don't overdo it. Now, since the injury, I've overdone it several times. I didn't spend enough time letting it rest, letting it heal. And as we age, shoulders and hips, knees become the most important joints. They always are the most important joints, but when it comes down to long-term health and having a high quality of life, I would say from what I can see, hip is the #1 joint to take care of, especially as men. Our hips are very tight, and we definitely need to focus on opening the hips. You see a lot of pro players now focusing specifically on stretching the hips, opening the hip up, doing things like this. That is something that I've been incorporating. If you can't stand on one leg or do any of those things, you can start laying down. You can start on your knees, getting into the frog pose, and just sitting back and going forward with your knees out, not at an uncomfortable distance, but wide enough so that you can feel the stretch, feel your hips opening up. Shoulder is another major one. Knee, of course, ankle. Without those, our range of motion and mobility is stunted. I would say at this point in time in my life, hips, knees, ankles in order of importance. Shoulder is somewhere in between knee and ankle. I think because I'm at this stage in my life, the shoulder, of course, is very important, but being able to continue to move at long distances is very important. If I ever slow down, then I think shoulder will increase in importance because being able to reach and get at things that are in my surrounding environment, in my area, will become much more important. Of course, getting up and moving around will be important, but now I can stand at extended periods of time and move for long distances, and I don't want to lose that mobility or stamina. So, excuse me. Make sure that you're taking care of your joints. Focus on the hips. The hips are so easy to overlook. I won't say that people forget about them because you feel it. You feel it when you get up. Some people grunt even when there's no pain because they used to have pain in low back and hip area. So make sure you're taking care of your joints. Make sure that you're stacking those healthy habits, both dietarily, physically, and mentally. Being able to tune out, get off social media when needed is an essential skill to have. Saying to yourself that you're not going to touch your device except for this period of time for this specific purpose. And I appreciate everybody who's tuning in to the channel and providing feedback and support and encouraging me to continue to post content. So until next time, keep stacking those healthy habits.